I got a kid down in here.
It is one of the worst cases these police officers say they have ever seen. This is the moment they find a child, allegedly alone, in a home, covered in feces and trash, and then they find another child.
Oh, Jesus. There's a little kid.
3 o'clock in the morning, 4 degrees outside, and a neighbor lying awake, listening to something she couldn't quite place through the wall. She'd tell police later it sounded like pounding. Like something, or someone, trapped. She almost talked herself out of calling, almost decided it was pipes or wind or nothing at all. Then she thought about the porch, the packages that always got picked up within a day, the ones that had been sitting untouched since yesterday afternoon. She picked up the phone anyway. That single decision, to trust a feeling she couldn't fully explain, is the only reason 2 little boys are alive to tell this story today.
Maybe there's somebody in there. And I waved to him, and he was drinking a sippy cup. And then,
For a moment, standing outside in the dark, they floated a theory. Maybe it's the roof. Maybe pipes burst in the cold and nobody's lived here in a while. It's a reasonable guess. Vacant homes flood. Vacant homes freeze.
Yeah, it sounds like it's coming from like the ceiling, like though.
Is it like the roof thawing out and taking down?
Then the neighbor walked over.
They're trying to destroy this place.
This is the home of a woman named Crystal Farmer, and she has 2 young boys who live with her in that house, but she's nowhere to be found. And the neighbor who called 911 walks over to talk to officers.
She told them plainly, a family lived there, a mother and 2 young boys. She'd seen one of them, just yesterday, sipping from a sippy cup at the door.
The home.
they usually have a ton of packages on the porch. Somebody must have got one maybe yesterday. And it was at noon, right? And I'm thinking, well, maybe there's somebody in there. And I waved to him, and he was drinking a sippy cup. And
this home was not vacant. Someone was supposed to be inside.
And then, so I'm sleeping good, and I hear like, I don't know, it sounded like he was in a space and he was pounding or something.
That theory collapsed the second she opened her mouth. So now the working assumption shifts. Maybe the mother stepped out. Maybe she's due back any minute, and this is all about to have an embarrassingly simple explanation. Officers make entry to check. What they find instead ends that theory too, and it ends it fast. The smell hits first, then the trash ankle deep in places.
Hey, somebody in here? Oh, Jesus. There's a little kid. Yep. Hey, buddy.
A second officer in another room finds a second child seconds later.
I got a kid down in here. I got a kid back here.
Are they okay?
No.
Two boys, alone, one of them barely dressed for the cold outside the walls, let alone whatever temperature it was inside. Neither one older than 5. If you're a parent, sit with that for a second. 2 toddlers alone in a house like this, for what investigators would later estimate was days.
What is the number of occupants you found in the front pages?
Just got 2 small children inside, approximately
Around
3 and 1.
probably 4.
3 to 4.
Not ours.
See underneath it the rest
I
of
don't
it?
see anybody in here.
Okay.
Did they completely abandon in here?
Yeah, for days.
2007.
And here's where the story could have gone a very different way, if that neighbor had rolled over and gone back to sleep. What follows isn't dramatic in the Hollywood sense. It's quiet. It's an officer crouching down to a toddler's eye level, offering a stuffed animal, asking gently if he likes stickers, promising he's not going anywhere. It's grown men in uniform learning, in real time, how to talk a terrified 4-year-old into a warm car.
That's right, quote, "One child was found trying to eat raw, spoiled meat, not out of defiance, but because hunger cannot wait, and it does not understand neglect. The other was curled up on the bedroom floor trying to make themselves small in the absence of care, instead of tucked safely into the bed that had been left vacant. A silent image of vulnerability, fear, and the need for protection that was nowhere to be found." Wow.
The other is found with spoiled ground beef, pulled raw from a garage freezer, because a hungry child doesn't understand what spoiled means. He just understands hungry.
The ground beef from that he was eating. Be careful when we get to the back bedrooms. They were rubbing their own all over the walls. Maybe look for a smaller kid because there's not a lot of room on this high chair.
Okay.
I mean, they both look pretty
Do we know
skinny.
anything about, have we talked to the lady, other caller yet, to figure out how long these kids might have been alone in here?
So I got her ID. She said that she thought the people were moving out, that it was unoccupied. I just want to make sure there's no more kids in here before we go any further. There's literal right on those walls, so be careful. So far, not that we can tell, they're just nonverbal.
Let that be the moment this story asks something of you. Not outrage yet, just attention. Because outrage is coming. As officers keep searching, they're not just documenting a mess, they're building a timeline. Unwashed dishes stacked for what looks like far longer than a day or two. A phone with no call activity registered for months. Packages addressed to a name, Crystal, piling up, untouched, on a porch that should have been used daily by someone with 2 small children in diapers.
Anything with phone names, anything on there?
There's 2 Amazon packages with the name Crystal on it.
Where are the parents? That's the question that hangs over all of this. We'll talk more about that here in just a second. But as police are trying to figure that out and they're going through just the trash that is just left everywhere in this home, there's an officer outside who is tending to the children, and he grabs some stuffed animals to try and help them stay calm.
Every detail is a small collapse of the idea that this was a one-time bad night. This wasn't a mother who stepped out for an hour and got unlucky. The evidence was accumulating toward something sustained, something repeated.
Flint for 7 years, and this is one of the worst ones I've seen.
I'm gonna do the report for this because parents or family members or guardians or anything that might pop up. Negative.
I'm sorry, honey. Like, that diaper's definitely been on there for a while. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if they have infection.
Yeah.
I mean, hi, brother. Is anything hurt here? Does that feel okay? Yeah? Nothing hurt?
As soon as I woke him up, he walked right up to me and he was walking top. It's okay, I'm here with you. I'm not going to leave. Buddy. You like stickers? I got a bunch of stickers too. You get all your bears?
E16, 0 medical to Bravo.
Ship a welfare check for you on that, Johnny.
Is this a blanket? You get a blanket. It's soft. Here you go.
Here you go.
Good job.
You're doing such a good job.
52205 Pennsylvania, across the Vernon.
Here's your other guy.
Male, trouble breathing, cardiac history, Eleanor Bravo, 79.
And still no mother, not for hours. It's not until 6:33 that morning, roughly 3 hours after the first officer walked through that door, that police finally track her down. Crystal Farmer. When they tell her what they found, 2 boys alone, one of them eating raw meat off a garage floor. Her response, according to the Bodycam audio, is almost disarmingly brief.
It was It was one of the worst we've ever been in. So these officers here are going to take you. You've got to go to jail for the child neglect, child abuse. Okay, until we can work through some of your story. All right. So we have up to 48 hours to get you charged, and then 72 hours to get you arraigned.
You
Okay.
sleep right there. I'll throw it over your shoulders. Go turn around. You set it down.
No, not in the hospital.
Which is my back.
And then I think the CPS might have a couple more things they need to do for you procedurally, but they'll be able to come see you down at the jail, okay? And then probably while we're working through some of the stories with the other witnesses, they'll probably revoke some of your phone call privileges down at the county hotel. So, okay. Do you have any questions before we?
Will you call my dad?
Yeah, probably. We tried to talk to him when we couldn't find you, and we found your kids eating poop and meat, but he didn't answer the door.
Don't want to take babes.
That's not him.
He's in Florida? Okay. Is his phone number the same it's always been?
Barely an acknowledgement, no elaborate explanation, no alibi that holds up to a single follow-up question.
Yeah, probably. We tried to talk to him when we couldn't find you, and we found your kids eating poop and meat, but he didn't answer the door.
Don't want to take babes.
That's not him.
He's in Florida? Okay. Is his phone number the same it's always been?
Farmer is currently facing 7 charges in connection to this case. 2 counts of child abandonment, 2 counts of second-degree child abuse, 2 counts of second-degree child abuse in the presence of another child, and 1 count of lying to a peace officer. Farmer's bond was set at $64,000. It does appear, according to online court records out of Michigan, that she is still in custody. As far as where her case goes next, a jury trial is set for October 20th, and her next court hearing is a pretrial hearing that is set for September 21st. She is presumed innocent